bench press by 30 pounds. What do you want to get out of your 90-day challenge goal? Write that down. You got to have a 90-day challenge. You've got to take a 90-day challenge. You've got to be on the 90-day challenge. You can't say, hey, I'm selling BMWs, but I drive an Audi. How many BMWs are you going to sell? Not very many. It's difficult. So you've got to be the product. Our product is a 90-day what? 90-day challenge. Be the product. Always be the product. That's important. So write that down. And then once you set your 90-day challenge goal, I want you to go public with it. Go public with it. When you go public with something, it totally changes and shifts everything. You actually mean it when you go public. How many of you guys have ever seen a friend that says something and then, it's just completely wrong, and you just call it out to them, but they will stick to that no matter what? Because people would rather be wrong, or people would rather be stupid than be wrong. They would rather go their entire lives. They will stick to that one thing and hold their guns to it because they don't want to look like they were wrong. Doesn't matter. They will stick to it. If you take your 90-day goal and you go public with it, I guarantee you will die before you don't hit your 10 pounds or your 20 pounds over 90 days. Because every one of your friends are going to be watching and they're all looking to say, I can't get with Mark. If you go public, you're going to hit your goal. Everyone say to me, I'll go public. Say, I'll go public. Just do it. Why not? You're here to take a challenge. You want to lose 10 pounds, or you want to do, run a 5K. Whatever it is that you want to do, let's just make a decision. Can we all make a decision here today to just cut the crap and just actually get this done? Whatever it is we're going to talk about, can we choose to get it done today? Can you guys do that with me? Yeah. Can we just get this done? Yeah. How many of you guys want to hit a BMW? How many of you guys want to hit regional director? Woo! How many of you guys want to get your product for free? How many of you guys truly want to hit your 90-day goal? How many of you guys don't hear a thing I'm saying? Guys, today is the day. This is not just a day. This is a moment. I've always said that every day is a moment in time. Every moment is a moment in time. But this moment right here is a moment in history. You're going to do something today that you've never done before. And that is that you're going to mentally commit and mentally prepare and mentally take action and truly believe that you're going to be able to do this. You're going to take the steps that I'm going to recommend to you here. And I guarantee you, if you follow along with what I'm saying and really why I'm saying it, it's going to work out for you. But I need you guys to mentally commit to do what I'm teaching here and work with me on this moment here being a moment in history. Will you guys work with me on that here today? Yes. You guys sure? Yes. 100%? Yes. Okay. So, pick your 90-day challenge goal, and no messing around. Truly pick a goal. What's your 90-day goal? Write it down. Write down your 90-day goal. What do you want your 90-day goal? What's your 90-day goal?
How many more days do I have in my perfect
to lose 54 pounds. What's your 90-day goal? 90. Are you already on a challenge? Good. Are you already on a challenge? Yes. If you're not on a challenge, today's going to be day one. Day what? Day one. So, I want you to write down what your 90-day challenge goal is, if you're on it or not. I want you to turn to the person to your left, and I want you to tell them exactly what it is. Turn to the person to your left and tell them what your current or your new 90-day challenge goal is.
What's yours? Ministry for free.
Turn to the person to your right and tell them what your 90-day challenge goal is.
You could do it. I didn't figure out what pregnancy goal was. Because of him.
Turn to the person to your left and tell them that you will go public. I promise, I swear to God, I will go public.
I would go public.
You set a goal when you're pregnant. You want to have a healthy baby. I mean,
Yeah, take one.
Going ambassador is not a 90-day challenge. Making $10 is not a 90-day challenge. Let me be clear about that. 90-day challenge is what this company is. It's a 90-day challenge company. It's not a financial challenge. It is a weight loss challenge, or it is a health-related challenge, or it is a run a 5K. It's something that is, us being promoters of good health and basically just doing something active in your lifestyle. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Did anybody put down Go Ambassador?
No.
Besides, the one person I asked? So, guys, make sure that your 90-day challenge is a 90-day challenge related 90-day challenge, not why you're doing the business. Does that make sense? So, I want you guys to go public and say what you're going to do. People join you and this business will grow a lot faster for you. You have a lot more success if you promote the challenge and not a biz op or a ground floor business or one of those things or something that's going to make you 10 grand a month or something that's going to make you 5 grand a month or something that's going to give you a free BMW. It'll grow a lot faster if you lead with the challenge. Lead with the challenge. And the challenge is leading with the opportunity to improve your health and your wellness. Does that make sense to you guys? If you're leading with the business, you're going to get a little bit more pushback from your friends. If you're leading with the challenge, they're going to take a step towards you and say, hey, that's fun and that sounds cool. If you're standing around the locker room and you sit down a shake mix and say, hey guys, we're all going to get rich. Is that appropriate?
No.
If you simply say, hey, I'm taking a 90-day challenge, or they say, hey, you look good, what are you doing? I'm taking a 90-day challenge, check this out with me. Is that appropriate? Yeah. It's normal conversation. It's just everyday normal conversation. That's what makes this go fast. It's not because we need a crafty, special little thing to talk about how you can make money with this. It's because all we do is take a challenge and we tell people about the 90-day challenge. That's it. Does that make sense? So make sure you have a 90-day challenge goal. Not an income goal, a 90-day challenge goal. Next step is what we'll talk about there. So the next step is become a rising star, which is your financial goals. So we're going to start talking about those. So when do you want to become a rising star? When do you want to refer 3 and get your next month 3? Now? When is now a good time?
Today.
So I want you guys to write that down 7 days from today. Minimum, 7 days from today. What I'm going to teach you is to show you how to be able to get this done in 7 days. The tone of this training is how many days to director? 7. How many days to director? 7. Let's say 30 days to director. How many days to director? 7. If you run this 7 days to director and you miss it in 7 days, do you have another 7 days to run to director? Yes. Then do you have another 7 days to run to director? Yes. Then do you have another 7 days to run to director? You have 4 shots to hit rising star. When somebody gets started in your business, or as well for you guys here who got started here tonight, you've got 4 chances to get it done. Does it make sense to do it the first time? Absolutely. Absolutely. So shoot to get it done in the next 7 days. Also write down why you're in this business. And this comes back to the money part. Why are you doing this business? Why are you promoting the challenge? Why are you here right now? Why are you not over at the bar with the rest of them? Why are you not at home watching TV with the rest of the people? So why are you here right now? Why did you get started? And don't write down money. Don't write down 10 grand. You're not here to make 10 grand a month. That's not why you're here. That's not why you signed up the dotted line. That's not why you're still sitting in the chair. The reason you're sitting in the chair is what the 10 grand can do for you. If you want 10 grand, just go steal it. Go take it. If you don't like your job, just quit. It's not about the surface objections or the surface ideas or the surface things that we throw out. It's about what those ideas and those winnings, or if you will, can provide for us. So if I was to give you 10 grand, what would you do with that 10 grand? That's why you want the 10 grand. And it's not even usually about that. It's usually one step further. So why do you want that 10 grand? Well, I want the 10 grand so I can quit my job. Well, no you don't. Because if you want to quit your job, you just quit your job. Why do you want to quit your job? because you want to spend more time with a new child that you just had, maybe. Or maybe you're not spending enough family time. Maybe you work too many hours and you don't get to see loved ones. That's the reason you're doing the business, right? It's not about the 10 grand. It's about what that 10 grand can do. So I want you to really think about why you're doing this business and write that down. If you don't write that down, I guarantee you your odds of actually winning here will be a lot less than those that know why they're here. Because this is not good. It's not easy to make 5 grand a month or 10 grand a month. It's not easy. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be struggles. And to the same degree that you know why you're here will be to the same degree that you're able to overcome those challenges and overcome those problems that you're going to face when you start moving and promoting the business. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. So really spend time on why you want to be here. There's an old saying that says your why must make you cry. The stronger your why is, the more apt you are to succeed. Every one of those ambassadors that you hear up here, their stories are very emotional. Very emotional. Very emotional. They're not, hey, you don't hear a lot of the stories that are, hey, I'm rich and I just want to be richer. Because when problems happen, do they really care? Whatever. It's not worth it. I'm not going to push forward through that. I'm not going to come to St. Louis because I have, CSI preview is going to be coming on. Or I can't get a babysitter. Or I can't find money. Or my in-laws coming to town. Excuse, because their why, they really don't have a why. They really don't care if they win. I can tell you the only way you're going to win and the way that you're going to win fast is by coming to St. Louis. I can tell you that. Every ambassador can tell you that. Every owner can tell you that. Any top income earner can tell you that. Any national director and above will tell you that. You can hear all of that. But unless you're really mentally committed, you know why you're going to be here, what you want to get out of this, you'll find an excuse. You'll find a what? Excuse. Yes. If it's not important, you'll find an excuse. If it's important, you'll find a way. There's no in between. There's no in between. So figure out why you want to be here. Step number 1, make your list. Write down your list. Who do we want to introduce this to? When we got started, Jennifer and I, we played a little game. It was called Who Do You Know Who? Game. I found out last night, when I did this last night, that if you say it real fast, it's kind of fun. Who do you know who? It's kind of like G-Get. Young too. All one word. Who do you know who? Who do you know who could lose 5 pounds? Who do you know who could lose 10 pounds? Who do you know who needs to lose weight? Who do you know who is a healthcare practitioner? Who do you know who already helps people? Who do you know who is a nurse or a doctor or a chiropractor or a massage therapist? Who do you know who's a fitness professional? Who do you know who loves a challenge? Who do you know who needs money? Who do you know who is broke? Who do you know is not spending enough time at home and really wishes they were? Who do you know who's always complaining that they don't have any money? And the world is out to get them. It's a big conspiracy. So write down a few names. If you don't have names, you're not going to be able to do this. We're in a promotion business. So write down some names right now. Keep going. You can leave here with a game plan and something that's going to propel you. Or you can leave here still being as cool as you were when you showed up, but not being where you want to be. What do you want? It's your pick. It's your pick. And no, your names and the names you have in your head are not going to be good enough because you won't remember them all. You've got to write them down. Don't trust your fortune to your memory, for the love of God. I tried that. Doesn't work. You got to write those names down. Write them down, and then what you'll find is as you start writing them down, you start adding to them, you start remembering more names. And I highly encourage you to carry that list around with you. I had my list, you could barely see the ink on it anymore. It was just worn down, written, writing over top of writing in different colors, and just carried around all the time. And if I had 5 seconds to spare, what do you think I was doing? On the phone, calling one of those names. 24/7, all the time. If I had a moment free, I was calling the names list that I had in my pocket. So build your list, write it on paper, get it down. How many of you guys are able to come up with 25 names yet? Anyone? Well, room last night, there were probably 30 people that did it this time. But those are Canadians. Come on. I know you guys can write down. Find 25 names. Find 25 names. I saw in the room here, when people were putting their hands up, I have a feeling that what you're doing right now is a lot of what's happening in your business right now. Meaning that people aren't actually doing what they should be doing. They want to achieve a goal and hit a goal, but they're not willing to they're too cool to actually do the work. Way too cool. Way too cool. The ratio of what I saw in this room of directors to people that were here is crazy. There's only a handful of you guys that have actually hit director. There's probably 80% of people in the room that never hit director, which is insane. I've never seen that ratio before. What that tells me is you guys aren't doing challenge parties. What it tells me is you're not making a list. And what that tells me is that you're not making a list, so your team's not making a list. You're too cool. Guess who else is going to be too cool? Your team. Your whole team. Because if I sat down in front of you, you told me to make a list, I'd say, show me your list. And when you don't have a list, I'm not making a list. If you're too cool, I'm too cool. And what I can guarantee is that every single one of you guys can hit Rising Star. Every single one of you guys can hit Director if you made a list, wrote it down, and actually executed what I'm going to teach you here. But I'm not going to teach it to you if you don't have a list, because that's just a waste of everybody's time. And time is what? Time is money. I can sit here and teach you how to call the list and how to go through it, but if you don't have one, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And 5 people is not a list. 5 people is where you'll call 1 or 2 or 3 of those people, or 5 of those people, and you'll end up begging them to join. Because if one of those people don't join, that's 25% of your list gone. And you'll follow that person around and jump out of bushes and say, hey, can you join now? Please, you gotta join, you gotta join. If you don't join, there's only 4 other people, and if they don't join, then this whole thing is broken, it doesn't work. Then it becomes one of those things. But if you have a list of 100 people, you guys want to know how I hit Ambassador in 45 days? You guys want to know how I hit Ambassador in 45 days?
Yes.
Yes.
Say yes?
Yes.
Here it is. Very simple, very easy. Instead of making a list of 25 people, I made a list of 200 people. And the beautiful thing about this is any single one of you guys can do what needs to be done to hit a BMW in 30 days. You all have the capability to hit Ambassador in 60 days. Just 90% of you just won't do the work. There's not enough in it for you. It doesn't hurt bad enough where you're at. You're comfortable. You're okay, and that's okay being comfortable. If $5,000 a month is comfortable, $10,000 a month is comfortable, then that's okay. But what I'm telling you is that you all have the ability and the capability to be able to hit Ambassador in 60 days, or to get in your BMW even this month. The training that I did last night, the night before, 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 was all putting together a plan for everyone in the room to hit Regional Director. To hit Regional Director. Is this too much for you guys?
No.
You guys okay?
Yes.
In Canada, we like to kick each other in the butt. But it's okay. It's good. But it's a little bit, we go a little bit harder, and we try to push a little bit harder, but it's not for everybody. So please don't take offense to anything if I push you a little bit too hard. You guys okay with that?
Yes.
I have your explicit ability to be able to say some things that you might be like, Jesus. I think 25% of the 5-star ambassadors, 25% of the 5-star ambassadors are in Canada, and we have a population of California, which is crazy. We have cities that have less. How much population here?
2.2 million.
500,000? Yeah. So you guys will have many. We've got one. How many ambassadors do you have here? 6? 6. We've got cities in Canada that have the same population. We've got 3 5-stars and 40 ambassadors and about 300 BMW qualifiers. Same population as you guys.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Why don't you guys do that? Are you guys ready to roll? You guys ready to be the core group? I always do these things afterwards because there always creates a core group of individuals. There's everybody that leaves because they don't believe they could learn something new because they've already heard of getting started training. Those are the cool people. Talk to 12 people. Are they going to stay back for getting started training? Oh, no. Yeah. We watched the DVD a little while ago. I'm like, all right, cool. Good luck. Way cool. And there's always a group of people that are always looking to grab some piece of information from somebody. If any 5-star in this company ever came to my city and wanted to do getting started training, I would be front row center, hands down, no question about it, and I'd be looking for that one thing that I can take from that individual that I can apply to make my business better.
Amen.
Doesn't matter who it is. Nobody knows everything. Nobody. Right? So, make your list. This is the way we do it in Canada. Is we pull together the core group of people and we build big lists. And I built my list with 200 people. And the reason I built it with 200 people is that I had the mentality and the attitude that I didn't give a you know what if you join. Because I had another 199 people to call. Some of you that are making a small list, the reason that you're not hitting directors as fast as you can or breaking directors as fast as you can is because you haven't set the pace or the tone for your team because you haven't built a big enough list. And therefore, they're not going to do any more than what you've done. When I got started in this business, I ran so fast because I wanted to make sure that there was nobody in my group that would even remotely think they could do more or produce more or make more calls or create more stories than I was doing. I always wanted to make sure that I was the benchmark of my team. Always. Because when that person that came in, when that, Tina Hawkins came into your group, who could blow up 5-star in a matter of months, I wanted to make sure that she knew what was possible. If nobody in the company had ever broken 5-star before, do you think that she would have believed that she could hit 5-star in just a few months? No way. Nobody's even ever done it before. However, if you set the tone for your group and let them know what's possible, then your group will grow a lot more faster because their belief in what's possible is a lot higher. The Bannister Mile, right? You guys ever heard that story? 4 minutes. Nobody had ever done it. They had scientific reasons why it could not be done. Doctors, chemists, everyone, biological engineers. It is impossible to run 1 mile in 4 minutes because of this, white paper studies, case studies, 9 whole 9 yards. And all of a sudden this clown comes around and just says, that's ridiculous. And he just went and did it. And what happened as soon as he did it? You got babies crawling in 4 minutes. Because what happened? Did we all of a sudden genetically become different? Or did our belief all of a sudden hit the level that, hey, this is a joke? You want to create the Bannister Mile in your group as well. The easiest way to do that is just make a decision to get it done and just run with it and say, forget this, I'm going to get it done. And the way you do that is you build a big list. You all know thousands of people. There's not one of you in the room that could sit here and tell me you don't know 200 people. You all know 200 people. It's just that the pain of making the calls and doing the work is too much and not worth the reward that you see. The rejection that you may face, that you probably don't even know if you will face, you're just making that up in your head. So you make up a story in your head that making these calls is going to be negative. Instead of the fact that making these calls is going to help you drive to a 5-figure income or a 6-figure income. Make up self-serving stories in your head. Making that list of 200 is not going to be painful to call. Your Uncle Steve is not going to not talk to you anymore because you called him and told him about a 90-day challenge. Chances are he's got his own reasons already why he's not talking to you. It's not going to be about the 90-day challenge. Well, we were good friends, but then she called me and told me about this challenge. Really? That's the story you want to make up? Why you don't want to call Steve? Make up a different story. How about the story that he's almost, going to die and maybe you're going to save his life? Make up that story. Maybe he's almost financially bankrupt, but he's too scared to tell you about it, and maybe you could save him like I did with many of my friends who didn't even tell me that story. One of them never even told me the story. And I have not talked to that person, who the heck knows where he would have been right now. You'll hear his story in St. Louis. Who knows? So what's the cost of you not doing this now and doing it fast? You can do it slow. Here's the difference between a regional director that took 6 months and a regional director that took 7 days. The only difference is that the regional director that took 6 months to do this decided to make 3 calls a day and do 19 challenge parties where 1 person showed up. The person that did it in 7 days called 50 people in 4 hours. They did 1 challenge party with 15 people and got it out of the way, got it done, and then started duplicating through their team. That's the only difference. You can do it fast, which is fun, or you can do it slow, which sucks. It's harder to do it slow. Can I say sucks in Des Moines? Yeah. That's a lot worse than Canada. I don't love it. It sucks, for real. So doing it slow sucks, doing it fast is fun. And it's a lot easier, you get a lot better results, you help a lot more people, and you all know the people to be able to go and get it done fast. So I made a list of 200 people. How many of you guys could make an effort? And I know I may only be talking to 10% of you here in this room. The 10% that I'm talking to, how many of you guys are willing to make an effort, take a shot, take a chance, just say, hey, forget this, let's get it done, and let's get it done before St. Louis. Who wants to run to a BMW this month is willing to actually just try and say, hey, what Jay said made a lot of sense, forget this, let's just get it done before St. Louis. Can a couple of you do it? 2? 3? 4? Because I think that would be ridiculous fun to see Des Moines taking over the stage on the Magic Wheel of Fortune with the cars and the trips and Germany and all that stuff. And if you guys do that, I promise you'll be getting a lot more speakers and people coming through Des Moines. Because if you guys can take the growth that you've seen here today, start coming together as a community and doing bigger events like this with your ambassadors and start running a lot more and a lot faster, you guys will start really starting to be a dominant market. I did not expect 400 people here. This is crazy. You guys probably are the ones that brought all the people, so give yourselves a round of applause, please. Okay, so you build your list. You can build a small list. You can build a big list. It really depends on how fast you want to go. That's step 2. That's number 1. Number 2 is to schedule your challenge party. So here's how you guys get this done. You blow it up and you run real fast. What's the date today, Tina, do you know? 17th. Okay. So here's how you take a shot at regional director this month. Worst case scenario, you hit Rise and Stare and get your product for free. Here's how you take a shot at regional director. You make a list of 50, 100 people, 50 to 100 people, a good list. You schedule a challenge party 4 days from now. 4 days is beyond enough time. Anything more than 4 days, you're just making excuses to try and pull up. You don't need to schedule a challenge party 4 weeks from today. When would you like to do your challenge party? February 23rd, 2014. Here's what you find out about people that schedule challenge parties 7, 8, 9, 10 days out. They do nothing for the first 7, 8, 9, 10 days. And then on the last day, they make all the phone calls. Why didn't you just do a challenge party tonight? You do the same amount of work. Most people do it 5 days out. They take the last 48 hours and in a panic because their friend's coming over. They're doing the challenge party and they got a regional director coming over. They get panic and they do the panic invites. Hey, you gotta come over. You just gotta come over to the house. I need somebody over there. No, don't worry. You don't have to buy anything. Just come over. I don't look stupid if there's nobody in the house. So just come over, eat cookies. We're gonna watch a shake and we'll go for beer after. That's on me. I'll buy the beer. Just come over. No, you don't have to buy anything. Don't even bring your credit card. You don't see. We see them in the room. We know they're there. So guys, when you're scheduling challenge parties for other people, take note of that, but as well for you right now, schedule a challenge party 4 days from now. Let's say in between 3 and 6 days from now. Can we all do a challenge party 3 to 6 days from now?
Yes.
Can we all do a challenge party 3 to 6 days from now?
Yes.
This is all you do. Crush a market and to blow up your business is you re-sponsor yourself every month. Every month I re-enroll myself and I start working the month as if there was not a single person in my group, and I get out there and work it like I've got 30 days before I go to jail for the rest of my life and I've got to set up my family trees. I want to make sure everybody is financially taken care of, and I work every 30 days as if it was my last 30 days on earth. And I've got to build this so that it lasts for generations and generations to come. Every 30 days, this is what I do. Build your list and schedule a challenge party 4 days from now, 5 days from now. And make it a good challenge party. So, what date are you doing your challenge party?
Tuesday. Monday.
Thursday.
What day are you doing your challenge party? Yeah, you're an ambassador. Yeah, you still do challenge parties. I'm a global ambassador, and I still do challenge parties. Now, what are you doing your challenge party? Tuesday? No, that's fine. Can you hold her accountable to that? Because I know she just made it up. Dan? Here's the thing. Pick a challenge party date. So, on the count of 3, yell at your challenge party date. When's your challenge party? Okay, and here's the last caveat I'm going to throw in there about your challenge party. Is you've got to do your own challenge party. You've got to do your own challenge party. And I don't care if you're a Crown ambassador. If you're not recruiting, you're not leading your team by example. And I guarantee you as an ambassador that's not recruiting is growing at a fraction microscopic speed as the other ambassadors that recruit every month. Microscopic speed compared to ambassadors that recruit every month. So even if you're an ambassador, do a challenge party and get back into the habit of enrolling. Always be enrolling. I don't care what rank you're at. If you keep enrolling, it'll keep going fast. It'll keep going faster, it'll keep going faster. As soon as you stop enrolling, your team stops enrolling, your team stops enrolling, everything dies. So hold on to your money. You gotta keep rolling. So we're doing a challenge party on what day? Okay, and I was going to tell you something else about the challenge party, right? Here goes. You have to do your challenge party at your house. So you can't partner up with somebody. If you live in a different house, you do a different challenge party. If you live in a different house, you do a different challenge party. What makes this go real fast is when you do your challenge party at your home, and then you have the ability to tell everybody that comes into your team, this is what I did, and this is what you need to do. Not, I did a challenge party, but I didn't do it at my house because it was dirty. I did it at my house, so you need to do it at your house. Here's what I can guarantee you. The teams that do it, that duplicate this into their teams, they grow much quicker because they have more people show up at their challenge party. How many of you guys had guests not show up here tonight? Anyone? You want to know why they didn't show up? Because they've never been here before. They don't want to come here. They don't even, the Holiday Inn? Really? Didn't Snoop Dogg sing about that? What's happening at the Holiday Inn? Oh, really? You got this guy coming all the way down to Canada to sell me stuff? I don't want to buy it. What is it, shakes? No, I don't want to buy it. I don't know this guy. I don't want him to sell me stuff. No, I don't want to hang around with a whole bunch of people that I don't know that are happy clappy and yay, bring up your credit card. That's why they didn't show up. How many of you guys realize that if you had just invited them over to your house, they would have showed up? Because they've been there before. It's a trusted environment. They know it. They like it. They like you. So they can show up. It's non-threatening. There's no big close and pitch. Not coming from you. Right? Does that make sense to you guys? So you've got to do your challenge parties at whose house? Your house. That's how you build it 10 times bigger. If you want your new person to come in and have 10 people show up to their house, do it at their house. If you want 3 people to show up to their challenge party, do it at your house. If you want 1 person to show up, only build for hotel meetings. That make sense? So you've got to set the tone in your group, and you've got to do it at your house, at your place. Don't worry if it's dirty. Don't worry if it's messy. Don't worry if you're a pig. They know you forever. They know your house is dirty, and they know you're a pig. Don't worry about it. Just invite them over. That's the whole point. Invite them to your house. You can clean a little bit, but don't worry about it. They're your friends, right? They're not going to judge you. So just do it at your house. Everyone say, I'll do it at my house. Not at your house, Steve, Tim, or whatever, whoever's sitting next to me who I came down here with. You've got to do it at your house. It'll work a lot better for you. You've got to trust me on this. I was adamant when I was doing this with my group. If I found out that 2 people were at the same challenge party, I got livid. I mean, angry. If there was 2 regional directors, if there was a regional director and a director doing the same challenge party at the same house, I was like, why? Guys, are we here to have fun? We've had enough fun over the last 6-7 years. We're here to make money. We're here to help other people make money. Why are you wasting your time, his time, the guest's time, and worst of all, removing the opportunity from someone else in your group when you could be at their house instead of hanging out here, chit-chatting and talking and having fun? How many people does it take to press blend? Do you need support to press play? Do I need to hire an assistant for you? Follow around, press blend, press play. Don't overcomplicate it. And don't take the philosophy of safety in numbers. You don't need to do that. So, I will never go over to somebody else's house multiple times, and I don't like other people going over there and doing it because it creates this culture of dependency, and then what happens is people start clumping together. And when they start clumping together, then you may as well be doing hotel meetings because it's the same thing. If every week you're doing a challenge party at one of your team's houses, and that's the only thing you got going on in your group, there is a group that is not growing even a fraction as fast as somebody that doesn't do that. Because you're only doing one a week and they're showing up with one guest. Eventually, they don't even show up with guests anymore. They show up to hang out, have fun. Feels like I'm building my business because I'm going over to build my business. But, I didn't have a guest come over. But, hey, did you watch CS Matlock last night? Oh, shh. Oh, there's 70 hanging out, blending shakes with one guest. Everyone say waste of time.
Waste of time.
Waste of time. Say it one more time.
Waste of time.
You don't need to have. If I walked into a house with 7 distributors, look out, tornadoes coming through. Because there's going to be somebody. You all have teams, and if you're not a director, that means you haven't built a list and you haven't done a challenge party at your house. Plain and simple. Simple. And if you are a director, then there's somebody else in your team that you could be helping instead of hanging out at that same person's house. Make sense? Say yes?
Yes.
Okay, so once you got your list, you pick your party, you're doing your party at your house. So turn to the person to your left one more time and let them know when you are doing your challenge party at your house with your list of 25 to 50 people. Turn to the person to your right, give them a high five and say, I can do this.
Put it down. Put hers down.
I can do this.
When do you want
You can
yours?
do this.
When do you have yours?
Second do this.
I have mine Wednesday.
All right. So, when you're inviting people over to your house, when you're inviting people over to your house, it's paramount that you follow this script. Follow this script. The script is easy. How would we do over time?
When's yours?
I think they're happy.
Okay.
Want to be honest with you?
No, I'm cool.
Take your time. I listen all night. All night.
Okay. So, don't worry. All right. So we'll go through all this. Don't worry. If you guys have to leave, feel free to get up. We'll take another 20 minutes. Okay, so make sure that you do your first exposure to the second exposure. So the worst case scenario is you throw your challenge party and you have a whole bunch of people show up, but nobody knows why they're there. That would be a bad challenge party. And that will result in a whole bunch of people saying, hey, this sounds really good. I could do really well with this. And, I think I could probably hit regional director by the time I went home. But is there a website I can look at? You're like, what? Yeah, there's a website. Is there a video? Yeah, it's the same video you just watched. Okay, well, is it on the website? Yes, it's on the website. Okay, good. I'm just going to go home and watch the video with my wife. And can we join online? Oh, we can. Okay, great. We'll just sign up online on our own. Is that okay? We'll get that done tonight. How many of you guys know that doesn't happen? Right? The reason they did that, you guys want to know why they did that?
Why?
The reason they did that is because they can't justify spending $500 the first time or second time they heard about something. I don't care how good it is. Doesn't matter how good it is. If it's that good, they want to look at it one more time and then they'll buy. So if you have a group of 10 people show up at your house and nobody buys and everybody says, that sounds really good, I'll get started tomorrow, or I'll go home and I'll get signed up, that means they haven't seen enough information. Yeah, they might need to start filling out the app. Filling it out. You're like, yes. Watch them fill it out. Then the last part they fill out is what? Credit card. You're like, all right, stop. And they're like, come on. You're like, come on. Go to the credit card. They reach in the back. You're like, yes. And then they pull it out, and you're like, yes. And then they start filling it out. It's like in slow motion for you. 4. You're like, 4. 5 on 5. And then they're like, no. And you're like, oh, thank God. And they keep writing, and then they're like, you know what? And you're like, oh, God. Can I fill this out online? I really don't feel comfortable leaving my credit card information here. Anything that happens of any of those sorts, it's all because they aren't comfortable in buying. And the way that you get around that is by giving them more exposures. I give people exposures like crazy. If you're coming over to my challenge party, you are coming over to join, you are coming over to get started, period. And the reason is because I give them so much information. Listen to this call, go check out this magazine. You're on your way over. Hey, I want to introduce you to somebody. Listen, link in somebody else. Hey, 30 seconds, how long you been doing the business, how much money you made? Great, thanks. Hey, Steve, I'll see you in 30 minutes, eh? And I'll just keep giving you information. So by the time you get over there, you are so excited. And then I do getting started trainings with people. Most of my challenge parties that I'll do personally and with other people are getting started trainings. They're there to buy. I'll tell you, true story, hard to believe. Got a girl started. We pre-party. We did all kinds of stuff. She had 17 people show up. We didn't even make it through halfway through the DVD. 17 people already signing up, line up at the computer, people already joining, people filling out their information. The DVD never even got through. I never even spoke in front of the room. And then everybody signed up, and then I just did a training for 17 people. What was the difference between that one? This girl had never done network marketing before, by the way. And she was 23 years old. Wow. 24, 23, 24. And her husband was like 21. What was the difference between those people and another group who has 15 people who nobody joins? The difference is exposures. The difference is intent. What is their intent on showing up? Are they showing up to make you happy? Or are they showing up because they've seen all kinds of information and they can't wait to get started? That's the difference between a good challenge party and a great challenge party. Good versus great. All comes down to exposure. So how many exposures do you need to have before they join your business, before they come over? 2. We all know this, right? 2. 2 exposures. So give them 2 exposures. I don't care what those exposures are, just as long as they're exposures into the business. And as long as they're not sneaky ways that you're giving people information that when they get here, it's like, hey, what is this? I just watched something about, why BMW is the greatest car in the world. And now I showed up and we're watching videos about milkshakes. Oh, you can win a BMW if you hit this level. I see the thing. I was showing up because I thought you were going to give me a car. I'm going to think about this. And they'll leave. So give people exposures. Don't be scared to lose somebody. Don't be scared. That's the only reason people don't give exposures, right? What's your number one reason why you've never given an exposure to somebody? Fear? What's another reason?
Laziness.
Laziness? Good answer. What other reasons? How many of you guys, I know you guys have done it. If you've got people show up to a challenge party that have never had 2 exposures, why did you not give them 2 exposures? You've heard this training before, right? You've heard people talk about this before. Why did you not give them 2 exposures? One more reason.
Pretty judgment.
You're afraid they won't come. That's the best one I've heard yet. Scare them off. Yeah. Afraid they won't come. Scare them off. That's it. That's the biggest reason. Laziness is a good one too. But I think that you might be lazy. I think laziness might have stepped in out of fear of them not coming. Then you become lazy. It's the same information that they're listening to. If they're going to get turned off from the pre-recorded call, they're going to get turned off from the website, they're going to get turned off from the DVD, and they're not the right person. There's no person in the world that will make or break your business. Not one. If you go into that list that you're going to make with the attitude that there's not one person here on this list, because I promise you this, you have no freaking clue. You have no clue. You can't say freaking? Not anymore, they passed a law. I think I saw that flying in, actually. Do not freaking say the word freaking. There's not one person on that list that you have that is going to make or break you, because you have no idea who's going to do this and who's going to do it well. In fact, it'll be almost opposite every time. The people you think that are going to do well will not do well. The people that you think are going to kill it do nothing, and the people that you think will do nothing will kill it. I still haven't figured it out. I have no clue. All the best I can figure out is it comes down to drive, passion, desire, and a real want to do something different. You could be broke on the streets with no influence, and you will go out and build a bigger business than a CEO of an Inc. 500 company. What's the difference? Desire, passion, and drive. That's it. So if you can go out and take that attitude that nobody's going to have it, then you won't care about the exposures. And if your list is big enough, who cares? Who cares? The reason you've got that attitude is because your list is so small that if they don't join, it petrifies you. To think that the list is gone, the dream is out the door, and the opportunity is over because your 5 people who were going to make you rich said no. And now, all of a sudden, you start coming up with excuses. You enter stage 2, which is now excuse time. Which is now where you start coming up with reasons and excuses as to why you can't come to the events and why you shouldn't go to the meetings and why this would work if this didn't happen. Okay? Get into that phase of just building a monster list where you don't even have the time to be able to do it. You want to be productive? Spend all night tonight writing down every single person, every single name that you've ever had. Go on Facebook and join your high school. Connect with old friends. I've got a pocket in a group of people that I have not met or talked to since high school. My high school class is in Visalis. And I mean 20, 30 of them. All of them. And they're like, what have you been doing this crazy? What are you doing? I'm throwing this DVD and there's you. I reconnected with everybody. I had at the white party, this guy climbing up on the side to come over. It's like, O'Toole! Calling me old high school names. I was like, what the heck? Are you kidding me? Guys, everybody is going to look at this at some point or another. Everyone. They will see it. They'll see it through you, or they'll see it through somebody else. If you know somebody that you went to a high school graduation class with, then connect with them on Facebook. As soon as I saw that guy, I was like, oh man, I gotta go. And I went, you ever see that app? It's like, hey, who do you know was in high school and all this? I was just like, ding, 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 add every single person. Connect with everyone. You know the people to be able to do it. So, what does that leave us with? Make your list, do your exposures, make sure people have 2 exposures, and follow the script, guys. Follow the script. Don't deviate from the script. The script works, but it's not even the script that works. It's about you being able to help your team use the script. If you call your friends up with a separate script, and then you tell them they've got to read the script, they're going to say, well, that sounds cheesy. I see why you didn't use the script on me. You know how my challenge parties close? My challenge parties close like this. You guys thought I was real smart and crafty with everything that I was saying, didn't you? Here, this is the script. I read it right here. And they laugh. It's funny. Because it's so ridiculously easy. They're like, wow, okay, cool. So you just read that? Yeah, I got it. Okay. And then they say something like this. In their head, they say, I can do this. I can do this. I'll tell you the number 1 reason why people don't join your business. You guys want to know what the number 1 reason is? Say, I do? I do. The number 1 reason why people do not join your business. They do not join because they do not believe or they cannot see themselves doing what you're doing. If you answer every question in the world and you come up with some fancy script that talks about this and talks about that, then they're going to ask themselves one question and one question only. Can I see myself doing this to my other friends? Because that's what they're going to have to do. And if they can't and they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. And then they come up with what I call surface objections, which is nothing more than a little piece of string that says pull it here for more information. Surface objections are, I can't afford it. For example, it's not that they can't afford it. Of course they can afford it. If their toilet overflowed and the plumber came by and said, hey, I need $500 or you're going to be waiting around at this for the next week, would you have $500? It's not that they can't afford it. It's that you had a better idea. You had a better script. You were working out of a different mentality or a different mindset space, meaning that you were working out of desperation in the sense that you really needed that person to join more for your benefit than for theirs. Make a big list. It'll change everything. It'll change your posture. It'll change your attitude. It'll change everything. And the last thing, guys, come to St. Louis. How many of you guys are coming to St. Louis? How many of you guys have forms to fill out? You guys got to come there. Here's what's going to happen in this marketplace. You'll see, and here's what I say to all the different marketplaces, and here's what I've seen in every single marketplace in Canada that we've built across. The marketplaces that grow the fastest, build the biggest, and are the most stable have the culture of coming to an event. I don't care if you're here by yourself or if you've never been to an event before. You've got to come so that you have that story to bring other people to that event. If you guys execute what I just talked about here today, 4 days from now, if you leave here, you build a list of 50 to 100 people, you listen to what I said, and you do a challenge party 4 days from now, and you have 10 to 15 people show up, maybe you only have 5 people show up, but they're quality people who are there for the right reasons. You already being committed to come to that event is going to enable you to be able to move a couple other people to come with you. And if you can come to that event with a handful of individuals, and all of you, let's say just 25% of you, make the decision to come down to St. Louis, execute what I said, and bring 3 people with you. That's 75 people in one marketplace. Here's what will happen 6 months from now. Those 75 will be sitting here, and the other 75 that weren't part of the 25 will not be here. It's called the marketplace cycle. I've seen it. Many times. The people that come to the events are the ones that win. People that come to the events are the ones that win. Who here wants to win?
Yeah.
I promise you, I'm telling you, I've given it to you straight. Come to the event if you want to win. If this is a hobby and just something that's fun, and you don't really care either way, then you don't have to come. Maybe you'll come to the events and you'll be taking challenges for the next 90 days, for the next 2 years, who knows? Maybe you'll just become a customer later on, which is totally cool. And although this business is built on people that are doing it part-time, and 80% of your income will come from people that are just here to have fun, like I said at the beginning, I asked you guys if you wanted me to talk to you at one level versus another level. There's happy clappy level where it's who we are as individuals, and we're that company. It's based on culture, based on community, and based on people having a whole lot of fun. You guys agree with me? Say yes?
Yes.
However, if you want to step into the 5% or the 20% of people that make life-changing income here with the company, or if you want to step into the 5% that make obscene amounts of money in the company, those are the things that you want to understand. Is that you focus and you work with the people that come to the events because they've got the biggest, the best chance at succeeding with it. And as someone who has finite time, you want to focus on people in your team that are duplicating the model. The model is what builds longevity, stability, and monster paychecks. The model. The model is first and foremost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The model is never miss an event. Period. Never miss an event. Ever. Because you'll pull something. Do you guys learn one thing here tonight?
Yeah.
Is there one thing that you think you could apply to your business that's going to help you?
Yeah.
Do you think there's one thing that you're going to learn from your business in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Come and get that one thing. Come and get it. Don't try and figure it out 6 months from now. Decide what you want and take what's yours and come and get it. You're going to grab lots from St. Louis. Lots. But more important than that is now this market is becoming more mature, and mature markets are driven by individuals that attend the events and promote the cycle. And that's it. So come down to St. Louis, grab the form that you guys have. I think we have a few here. We're going to do some prizes. Yeah? What do we have? We have a few prizes. So guys, fill in your form, come down to an event, and pop this market hard. Do it like crazy. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go to Quebec from here. I go to Chicago, and then I go up to Quebec. You know how many people is going to be in Quebec? Just for a little thing in Quebec, there will easily be 2,000 people at the same style event as this. 2,000 people. You want to know what the difference is between Quebec and another market? They attend the events. There will be roughly 15 buses that they will be going all the way down to St. Louis. Roughly, 20 hours? 24 hours? But that's their culture. How many buses do you have some buses coming from here now? So you guys have 3 buses coming here now. We started in Quebec with 1, and then it went to 3, and now they're at like 15. But it starts with your leaders coming together, which Tina has done, and with all the other ambassadors here in the marketplace, to commit to busting this market out. And your leaders understand that the only way to do that is to get you guys to the event so that you get that what you need to be able to build this to where you want it to be. And in doing that, they've taken their time, their money, their energy, their resources to make transportation nothing for you guys. You guys think about this. Quebec will have 500, 600, 700 people driving almost 24 hours to come to an event. You guys have to drive up the street. I forgot about that. I'm used to being in Canada, and I forgot. I'm like talking to a room of people that has to drive up the street. That's ridiculous. Fill out the application. What are you guys doing? Like literally in Canada, every spot in Canada it's like 20 hours, and the cheapest flight is about $800 from U.S. to Canada. Everyone in Canada that's coming, which will represent probably 4,000 people, 5,000 people at the event, 30% of the event, will have spent more money, well, thousands of dollars, every one of them, to get down there. You guys are 5 hours away. So, it's what?
It's a no-brainer.
It's no brains. Okay, so are we good with the applications? Anyone have any more? I think you guys already filled them out earlier.